a story. It's not real. Kimberly gave me that one. That was a good one.
That's
All right. So, hey, like I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to be playing a... What? What was that stare?
I busted your chops.
Hey, so let me share my screen here. So, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be playing a game where I'm going to challenge John and Kat to identify or help me build a large TV shared universe using a series of clues that I'll give them and have them compete head-to-head to identify the different TV shows that we have here. So I've got a board here. I'm going to share it here. Okay. Behind each of the squares, and so folks who are just listening at home, I've got 10 squares that are connected by various lines. Behind each of those is a television show, with the exception of one, that is somehow connected to the 1980s, and they are connected in various ways, creating a large television universe.
Got it.
Now, like we've done before, we're going to go back and forth, giving you guys a series of 3 clues to try to identify it. Every time we give an additional clue, the possible score the score value of that that TV show. Point value rather goes down by 5. So we start at 15, 10, and then 5 points. Sooner you get it, the more points you get. And we'll take turns going back and forth to determine who gets the first clue. Makes sense?
I'm a little bit intimidated, but I'm excited.
Oh, no, it's so fun. I love this.
All right, where do you want to start?
Wow. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start at number 1.
Oh.
All right, so number 1, I'm going to, if I don't screw this up, first thing I'm going to show you here is some basic information about the show. Number 1 is a sitcom that ran from 1975 to 1985. Okay, hey, the first clue for you, John, is this show was created by Norman Lear. Sitcom that ran from 75 to 85, and it was created by Norman Lear, who folks know, right? He created a lot of television shows.
Okay, I have a guess.
Right. What do you think?
Happy Days.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. All right, Kat, next
so.
clue goes to you for 10 points.
Okay.
Sure. I think that was a little earlier. I think it ended before 85. So okay.
And the clues get easier as we go along, too.
That's good.
The show focuses, and the second clue, so the first clue is going to be created by, the second one is about the synopsis of the show. I think you're all going to get them by the second clue, really. If you don't get it, the third clue is the name of the actors in the show.
Oh.
Okay, the clue number 2 is the show focuses on a couple who have been able to move from Queens to Manhattan following the success of their family business.
Oh.
Just waving his hands.
Well, moving on up, moving on up. Is it the Jeffersons?
That's right.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, way to go, Kat. Good job.
Yay. Thanks.
Look, see, Kat, you're already running away with it.
That's a miracle.
10 points. What's that?
All right.
It's a miracle.
Oh, it's a miracle. All right, Kat, where do you want to go? So now that we have a box, though, you have to stay with ones that are connected.
Great. Yeah. Well, there's only one option here.
Yep. All right, that's true.
Number
all right, so let me show you the basic. Let me show you the basic information about that one real quickly here. So this next television show is a sitcom that ran from 90 to 96. Now, I mentioned this one's blue, so you're not going to get extra points for it, because I don't know that it's more difficult, but it's one that, as you see right there on the base level, was not in the 1980s.
Right. It's not in the 1980s, but there's a strong connection.
Okay, now here's your first clue. It was created by Andy and Susan Borowitz.
Wow. That doesn't help me in the least.
Yeah, that's hard.
I got nothing.
See, this is why I could have done a better job creating this game. Usually, John, some people will take to the third clue. You guys are never going to get to these third clues.
I'm okay with that. That'll be tied with Kat.
Yay.
Okay. All right, here is your second clue. A vague synopsis of the plot, which is, it's not so vague as you're not going to get it. A street-smart teenager from West Philadelphia is sent to live with his wealthy uncle and aunt in California.
Gotcha. So the first Prince of Bel-Air. Thank you.
That's right.
Very nice.
I thought you needed a moment there.
Wow, it's
Okay,
just-
gotcha.
That was a dramatic pause. That's what we do in radio, Kat.
Those fighting words. John gets competitive when he's.
That's what we do. No, was that the royal
That's what we do.
The Fresh
Okay,
Prince.
so what is
Yeah.
the connection, do you think, between the Fresh Prince and the Jeffersons?
Wait, is that for John or me?
Either of you guys. I'm going to tell you, so it's not for any points.
Yeah, I mean,
just starting.
it's kind of thematically. It's about someone coming from, living in a disadvantaged area and moving up into kind of the affluence.
I see. So,
I don't know
John,
if thematic was the link you're looking for.
well, and since you haven't played with us before, we're going to get the connections are going to be more concrete than that.
Okay,
And I'll show you, and I'll tell you why. Because in season 5, episode 17 of The Fresh Prince, titled "Will is from Mars," the Jeffersons made a guest appearance as a couple in a therapy class.
Oh.
Then, in 1996, during the series finale of the show, the Jeffersons made an additional appearance as the buyers of the Banks family house.
Oh my gosh.
So in the last episode, they're moving out and they're showing the home to a bunch of people, and the Jeffersons are the ultimate bidders.
Wow, that's really cool.
All right, John, it's your turn now. So now look, you're in a little. When you get to 5, you're going to get some options here, but for now, you got to go down to this middle box. So
Sounds
I'm gonna
good. All right.
Just show you the basic
Going
information.
down a
for
good old
that.
number 5. I like it.
All right, you got another sitcom here, and this one was, as you see, was aired from 78 to 85. Okay, here's your first clue, John, for 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this isn't a created by. What did I do here?
Oh. Advantage, Johnny.
So, yeah, you might get this one. I don't know. The show became known for, quote, very special episodes in which serious issues such as racism, illegal drug use, and child sexual abuse were dramatically explored. Now, you'll note that this show is listed as a sitcom.
I have a guess. I do have
Okay.
a guess.
Yep.
I do have a guess. Different strokes.
That's right!
Wow,
Hey,
right.
that's what you were talking about, Willis. Awesome.
Wow, John leaps ahead.
Yeah, that was
25 points now.
inevitable.
Which, Kat, you know what that means?
That means
Look, right now you can go any number of places on this board. But score-wise, it would be advantageous to go to that red box, which starts off at 20 points. But I'm going to tell you right now, that one is a hard one. I don't even know if John's going to get that one.
So,
But you
so
know
the deal is that it's super obscure. You said that's the deal with the box.
I believe.
right?
Now, it's connected to different strokes somehow, though.
But
Okay.
sometimes
Any-
obscure is my forte. I feel maybe a little risky here.
Before we move on, any idea how the different strokes
right.
is connected to the Fresh Prince? I'll tell you. In that same episode, as the Jeffersons appeared, Gary Coleman and Conrad Bain reprised their roles as Arnold and Mr. Drummond, where they consider buying the Banks mansion. They referenced Willis by name before meeting Will Smith's character, leading Coleman to utter the phrase, "What you talking about, Will?"
Wow.
Imagine the benefit I'd have had if I ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Maybe.
Well, it was in the
Probably forgot
90s. It was
by
a little
now.
later for me. Yeah, I was in junior college, and we were partying hard, as you can imagine.
Oh.
All right,
No,
Kat,
we
where do you
don't.
want to
dorm
go? You got
on
number
BBSs.
3, number 6, number 7, number 8, or number 9 you can move to. You got 5 boxes.
Oh gosh, am I feeling risky? No, I'll go number 3.
All right, number 3. Let's just see what kind of thing we're talking about here. That's a sitcom from that ran from 1982 to 1986.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, here's your first clue, Kat. The show's theme song is titled "Together."
Oh. I feel like that's probably a really good clue, but together.
It may spark some,
Can you sing it?
I will not sing it. Mostly because I kind of, what's funny is I have it in my head, but I think I'm really singing the theme to Family Ties
Oh.
or Cheers. It's just all kind of a.
I got nothing.
All right, John. Clue number 2 for 10 points goes to you. I just feel like it's just working out this way. In the pilot episode, a boy arrives at the mansion of the father he has never met.
Silver Spoons?
You letting air out of a tire?
Oh,
That's
Is it
right.
Silver
I think he was. Oh my god.
I was building my way up to saying the whole word. I wasn't sure. It's like you keep your finger on the chess piece until you're totally certain. I wasn't
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Very good. Very
Of course,
good.
that show, and I should be mentioning this all the time along, but I'm not going to go back and do it. That show starred Joel Higgins, Aaron Gray, Ricky Schroeder, Alfonso Ribeiro, who also starred in The Fresh Prince.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but that's not the show it's connected to on our board here. The Silver Spoons is connected to Different Strokes. Any idea how these might be connected? You probably take a general guess without knowing the specifics, I bet.
Didn't Ricky Schroeder show up on Different Strokes, or the other way around? I think
That's pretty close, yeah. So on an episode of Silver Spoon, Silver Spoons,
Silver Spoons.
on an episode of Silver Spoons called "The Great Computer Caper," Rick tries to impress a student reporter by hacking into a secret military computer site, but the FBI closes in after the material ends up in the school newspaper. That student reporter was Arnold. That student reporter was Arnold visiting the Silver Spoons.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. It's John's turn now. Did I give you your points? Let's see. You got what? 10 points? No.
Oh, he's.
That was the
Second
second
clue? Yeah,
clue.
10
so
points,
that was
I
10
think. Yeah.
points. All right. So John. All right. So now, but John, it's also your turn. Where would
Yeah.
you like to go? So you can go.
So here's my plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a place where I can fail early to give Kat an advantage to get more points on the second guess. So I'm going to
Oh,
go
I
to
see what
box
you-
6.
Oh.
See there?
Oh.
Magnanimous
John.
that I am.
It should be worth 1,000 points. Should we just make it worth 1,000 points? Because you know what? Watch. John will get it. John will probably get it, right?
It's only 1 year. Oh no.
I told you. This is
Oh,
gonna be
1 year.
It's a sitcom that only ran from 79 to 80.
Oh my
So,
God.
John, this is your first clue. You could get it with just 20 points here.
Let's see that happen.
Clue number 1 was it was created by Dick Bensfield and Perry Grant. Back to these. Look, this week was tough. Last week
Not
was
the
tough,
Dick
but whatever.
Bensfield and Perry Grant. Are you serious?
Yes. All right, you're just getting buzzed for making fun of the creators of the show.
Hey, it lasted 1 year. It couldn't have been that good.
All right, Kat. For 15
Okay.
points, you could certainly pull, narrow the gap between the two of you. Clue number 2 is the summary of the plot. After a divorce, a radio talk show host relocates from L.A. to Portland with his 2 teenage daughters.
Oh boy.
Wow, even John looks a little stumped.
His eyebrows are going crazy. I don't
Ponderous
know.
furrowed.
I just don't know what this
Nope,
is.
okay.
I'm curious to know if I will in the end.
All right. What are we down to? Another 10 points, right?
2
Yeah, you're
radio
down to
talk
10,
show
'cause
hosts,
that
2
would have been
teenage
15.
daughters.
All right, so John, the final clue for 10 points is it starred McLean Stevenson.
Oh, McLean Steve. Yeah, damn,
It's on
I
the
can
tip of
see
something,
it.
right? Yeah.
No, it's not on the tip of anything.
not.
It's like I can see him in this sitcom. McLean Stevenson was in Simon and Simon, right? He was great in that. But that's not a
I don't know
sitcom
that
from
he was in
79 to
that.
80.
I think
Is
he's
that the same
best
guy?
known for being in MASH. He
different-
played Blake, Henry
Oh,
Blake.
Oh, gotcha. I'm thinking of
After
different
that, he
guy.
had 2 failed shows in a row. Right before he was on this show, they gave him another chance here.
This wasn't one of the failed shows.
No.
Ultimately it is, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently
He
it
had,
was.
he had 2. He had a real run after MASH.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, no idea. Not for me.
All right. This show we're looking for is called Hello, Larry.
Oh.
I told
Goodbye,
you.
Larry.
Yeah. And goodbye.
Do you have a 5th clue? Perhaps it'll help me. Oh, that was the name.
Yeah, no, that, I gave you the name and you couldn't get it.
I'm still not sure.
Although the first season focused on Larry at the radio station, the second focused on his relationship with his daughters because the first season did not do well. And the producers of the show
Can
thought
you
was
use it in
terrible.
a sentence?
Okay, and it's connected to Different Strokes because in season 1 they had a 2-part episode that was essentially a crossover. In Different Strokes episode season 1 episode 19, the Drummonds visit Oregon so that Mr. Drummond can inspect the radio station he just purchased, which includes a show hosted by his old army buddy Larry.
Ah.
And then in season 1 episode 10 of Hello Larry sees the conclusion of that arc where the Drummonds arrive and Mr. Drummond has to consider firing his friend.
Oh no.
So it's not really a spin-off. It was kind of a backdoor pilot Well, actually, it wasn't even a backdoor pilot because
No, it would have been the original series for that,
Yeah,
right?
they essentially what happened was the show Hello Larry was doing so poorly that they retconned it mid-season to try to connect it to a successful show, and they aired these shows at the time. They aired back to back, so they were trying to get some. They were trying to draft different strokes.
He was even getting fired in the show. Man.
This got too biographical.
Hello,
All right, Kat,
Larry.
back to you. So now look,
Goodbye, Larry.
you've got 4, 7, 8, 9 you can choose from because they're all connected to different. No, sorry, you've got 7, 8, and 9 to. I misspoke
Right.
earlier. I realized
'Cause I have
7, 8,
to-
and 9 to connect or connected to different strokes.
How about lucky number 7?
All right. Lucky number 7 is an action show.
Ooh.
Oh,
right.
I like it.
It ran from 82 to 86.
All right.
And I know you know your action shows, and I'm not being facetious. This is serious.
That's my highest probability.
All right, action show that ran from 1982 to 1986, and your clue is it was created by Glenn Larson.
Oh,
Now,
boy.
that clue is as helpful as Norman Lear because Glenn Larson created a lot of shows in the 70s and 80s that we love, including this one.
But the names, I'm not so great.
Come
with
on,
the
can
names.
Kat focus on the genre? 82 to 86, an action show.
I'm just going to guess a show
Okay.
that Scott and I are currently watching, which is the A-Team.
That is
just gonna
such
say
a
that.
great guess, but it's wrong.
No, darn. Okay.
All right, John.
All right.
Kat,
Clue
that
num-
would have been my guess with his first clue as well. So
Clue
All
number
right.
2 for you, John, for 10 points.
Okay.
It's always the plot that gives it away, right?
It's okay.
Self-made billionaire rescues police detective after a near-fatal shot to the face.
Wait.
what? Self-made billionaire.
Self?
Self-made billionaire rescues police detective after a near-fatal shot to the face. That's what kicks off the show. That's not what the show's always about every
Yeah.
episode.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Hey, we got to save another police officer shot to the face. Then it turns out the self-made billionaire is actually shooting them. Oh, created an industry.
Next week on Sniped by a Billionaire.
Next week on Duck.
I 82, 86 action. I thought I was down with it. I don't know. No.
Just take a guess of a show that's. Cat's.
I've earned a buzzer.
All right.
Kat thinks she knows.
I think I know.
All right, Cat.
Is it Knight Rider?
That's right.
Oh. Oh. So did she steal with a 10-point level? She stole without the next clue, right?
No. Oh, yes, you did. That's true.
I didn't need
All right.
a clue.
Hey, if John,
Need a
you
clue.
agree to that, I think, yeah.
John, that was so sweet
I'm-
of you. Thanks.
Hey,
I wasn't
I'm
thinking
here
of
for
that.
no other reason than to screw up the show, make up my own rules.
We should
Happy to
probably
help.
do it that way, shouldn't we? If you could steal without the next clue, you should be able to get that point level.
Yeah, I like that.
Next
what
time,
was the next
or
clue?
whatever.
I'm just curious.
Starred
It's
Edward
called Knight Rider.
Mulhare, William Daniels, and David Hasselhoff.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have gotten it.
Hoff. Don't hassle the Hoff, man.
A Hoff.
Get it too. So, different strokes, according to our chart here, is connected in a different way to Knight Rider.
Mr. Drummond had to fire David Hasselhoff.
Wait, actually, David Hasselhoff, though, right? He bought NBC.
Right.
You're kind of. No, you're not really in the ballpark.
And loosely connected. Huh? I mean, I don't remember any crossover like the actors being on the show or anything, so I'm not sure.
I feel like that must be it, though.
Okay. Well, the answer is
But it's a dashed
that,
line. So I think it's-
in the two-part
that's true.
episode "Hooray for Hollywood," Arnold and Dudley sneak onto the set of a fictional episode of Knight Rider in hopes of meeting series star David Hasselhoff.
Okay.
In fact, does appear on this episode.
Okay. I think I even remembered hearing you guys talk about that one time.
Yeah, I mentioned it once before.
Or if I was part of the conversation.
and these must all be the same network for this crossover stuff to happen, right? Because this is all NBC shows or CBS
You know
shows?
what?
Or, I guess.
I thought about telling you that, but I will say this: all of them are NBC. I can say
NBC,
definitively,
yeah.
except for one.
Except for one, yeah.
One of these clues is not, and we haven't had it yet, is not an NBC show.
Because outside of like Battle of the Network Stars, you didn't get crossovers between networks. Like people were in contracts, and you worked for CBS, and
Right. All right. Let's see, John. You can go to 4, 8, 9. What do you think?
Let's go for 4.
All right. Number 4 is connected to Knight Rider. The clue is, or let's see, the basic information you have here is it's an action show that ran from 1979 to 1985.
79 to 85.
All right, John, and your first clue is it was created by Guy Waldron.
Not the Guy Waldron.
Yes.
You said 79 it started. Man.
79 to 85.
Yeah. So predates Knight Rider, and they had a connection. No, I mean, I still have A-Team on the brain, but that started in the 80s. So, no, I think...
All right, Kat, your clue, number 2.
Okay. Wait, can I guess before I get a clue?
Yeah, I guess so, according to the new rules.
Although I'm not sure if it... I guess it falls under action. I mean, there
But
is
if you get it
action.
wrong, it's got to go back to John for the next clue. That's
Oh,
the only
darn.
one we can-
Okay, give me the
ooh,
clue.
that's the
Give me
risk.
clue. I'm not feeling that risky.
Yeah,
Gotta be that
points,
way.
yeah.
The next clue for 10 points is the plot, or, a vague summary of the plot. 2 cousins are on probation for moonshine running.
I was going to even Dukes of Hazzard. I was going to guess Dukes of
No
Hazzard.
risk, no reward.
I know, man.
It is the Dukes of Hazzard.
Goop, 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 dip, dip, dip.
Now, unless I'm adding this wrong, the current score is Cat 30, John 35. That can't be right.
Wow.
What did I forget to give
Well,
points
neither
to?
of
Let's
us
see.
got anything for Hello, Larry.
All
or
right.
Goodbye, Larry.
And someone got Knight Rider. Who got Knight Rider?
I got... No, wait.
Yeah, Cat got Knight
Yeah,
Rider.
I got Knight Rider.
All right, so
And
I gave you that.
Yeah. And she just got the Dukes.
All right. Okay, she's got a little
Well,
streak there
Dukes.
going, I guess.
I could have tied it
Goop,
if I'd
goop,
been
goop.
risky.
Okay, so again, look, these two. So the Duke boys are, what would it be called? Tenuously connected. Is that a word?
Yes, that's a word.
To Knight Rider, but they are connected. And you're not going to get this one unless you remember this bit of television history. In the episode "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death" of Knight Rider, that is, Michael and Kit enter the Alternative 2000, a cross-country race for cars that run on alternative fuel.
Oh.
Also entering the race is an orange Dodge Charger with the numbers 00 on the side. No, they don't have any numbers on the side.
No number.
And it would have been 01. Orange Dodge Charger, driven by a pair of relatives, one with blonde hair and one with dark hair. The pair have a Dixie flag on their uniforms, and their vehicle is powered by moonshine.
That's awesome.
In the episode, Kit actually jumps over the Dodger,
Wow.
the Dodge Charger.
Yep.
Yeah. So they
So
were
was that like
Yeah.
was like Tom Wopat actually in it, or was just cousins of similar appearance?
No, it was And I think it actually might have been a male and a female driving it. But the two shows had a rivalry from the get-go. They were running on different networks, and it was sort of these, battle of these types of car shows. In early promotions for Knight Rider, they even had we talked about this a long time ago on the show, promotional material where they sent out a flyer that had on one side compared, all the specs for the General Lee, and it had a picture of a car, an orange Dodge Charger. It didn't call it the General Lee, and on the Charger it had the numbers 00 instead of 01, which is the General Lee. And on the right, they had all the specs of Kit. And of course, Kit is a, supercomputer, so it blows away on a sheet of paper, it blows it away.
Right. And clearly it can jump over it.
A little Michael Jackson for you. Now, there was an unverified rumor on the internet that the orange 69 Charger that they used in this episode of Knight Rider was actually one of the stunt cars that were from the Dukes that Warner Brothers had purchased.
Oh, why not? I mean, there were hundreds of those Dodge Chargers that were utilized and trashed for the Dukes of Hazzard. So the odds of getting hold of one of those is pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Kat chooses next, and you've got 8 and 9 you can go to.
I'm going to go with the one that is a multiple of 3, which is number 9.
Okay. And a math
Very
lesson
cosmic.
in that, too. All right, this is an action show that ran from 83 to 87. And your first clue for 15 points is it was created by Stephen Cannell.
Oh, man.
Cannell. How do you say it, John? Stephen?
I think it's
J.
Cannell. Stephen Cannell.
Cannell. Stephen Cannell.
I just feel like guessing A-Team again.
Who, again, created a number of shows like Glenn Larson and Norman Lear. Created a number of shows that we love in the 80s and beyond. Okay, what do you got?
I'm just going to guess A-Team again.
That's right!
If you hadn't, I was going to try to steal with A-Team because I knew Cannell did the A-Team.
Oh, so you recognized a name
I was going to risk
there.
it. Yeah, it could have been anybody, but I knew Cannell was attached to the A-Team. When I heard the name, I'm like, oh yeah.
Right now I realize that Kat has just been, I think, she's been playing you. She's been hustling.
She's been sandbagging it the whole time. Oh yeah.
Because she just pulled ahead with 45 points now to
my
your
gosh.
35.
Da, da, da.
Wow.
So in
was just
the
trying to
A-Team I
Make John
have
think
here
he could
is
relax.
the A-Team here is connected to three different boxes. One that's already been revealed, the different strokes. Now, based on what we talked about before, its connection to, let's see, similarly to Knight Rider, you might be able to guess this one, but I'll just tell you. In addition to that episode they had about where they witnessed they snuck onto the fictional set of a Knight Rider episode.
Okay.
In the sixth season, Mr. T guest stars on a Different Strokes episode where the Drummond's apartment block is used to film a fictional episode of the A-Team.
Wow. Nice.
Huh.
I was wondering if Mr. T was the connection there. Awesome.
Yeah. All right, John, do you want to do a multiple of 4 or a multiple of 5? Because 8 and 10 are available.
Oh, I'm going to go with number 8, I think.
All righty.
All right.
Number 8 is a fantasy show that ran from 85 to 87. For 15 points, John, this show was created by Steven Spielberg.
85 to 87. Different Strokes in the A-Team. Created by Spielberg.
Yep.
The only thing I can think of from that era that's related to Spielberg on television, Amazing Stories.
That's right!
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nicely done.
Oh my gosh. Sweet.
So John now leads by just 5 points, 50 to 45. Getting that in the first, with the first clue, getting a whopping 15 points.
Wow.
That is, in fact, amazing story.
We call that
Now,
pulling a cat, is what that is.
it's got to be that now, right?
I'm
And
not sure
hustling,
that I
too.
saw Amazing Stories. What's that about? I need a little.
It's an
memory
anthology series
Yeah.
where it's different stories each time. It was the origin of the animated Family Dog. There was the great one about the artist who was in a belly of a plane that the landing gear wouldn't come down, and he drew the landing gear, and it looked
wow.
like all Roger Rabbit came to life. It was all
Okay.
amazing, kind of crazy stories, but they weren't like Twilight Zone-y stories. They were almost like inspiring, magical kind of stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a the family-friendly Twilight Zone, yeah.
Wow.
Sure.
No wonder I didn't see it. My father wouldn't have watched that.
Oh, no?
There's more about Amazing Stories than you ever wanted to know.
Yeah, and actually, the 1987 film that Spielberg produced, Batteries Not Included, was originally going to be an episode, but Spielberg liked it so much that he decided to make a whole film out of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll be dadgummed.
Should have been a TV episode to Steven,
Dadgum.
just saying. Because you know what else wasn't included in that film? The box office, I'm guessing. So
What's the connection?
Yeah.
What's the connection to 18 with Different Strokes, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually share a connection. In the first season, in a first season episode of Amazing Stories called Remote Control Man, we see a man whose only solace from his overbearing wife is inconsiderate children. One who incidentally is played by Goonies Chunk, Jeff Cohen,
Oh, yeah.
who also just had worked with Steven Spielberg around that time on the Goonies, of course. The only solace this gentleman has is his television. And then when he obtains a TV from a mysterious store that sort of appears out of nowhere, he learns the remote does more than just control the channels. And he replaces the selfish members of his family one by one. His wife is replaced with first she's replaced with a beauty queen, that's competing on the television. And then he replaces his elder son, who's working to become a Hare Krishna, with Templeton Face Peck from the A-Team, as played by Dirk Benedict. So Dirk actually appears on the episode playing the son. But he's face. But he's face.
But his face.
He keeps talking about the team. Where's the team? There's a van here.
Because he's been extracted from the TV into this
Yes,
guy's life.
Exactly. And replacing the younger son, who had been played by Jeff Cohen, is Gary Coleman, reprising his role as Arnold. Again, behaving like the character Arnold on the show. But yeah, they don't act like they're surprised to be there. They just sort of go along with it, but they do have these moments where the episode culminates where these loan sharks take over the home because Dirk Benedict was undercover as Face, or rather Face was undercover trying to infiltrate this loan shark, he says, on behalf of a widow in the town that wanted them to break up the team, or break up this crime. organization, and the loan sharks appear, and he's like, "Is the van here? They could help." Did you see the van outside? Anyway, now I will tell you this: on this show are a number of other crossovers, including, John, as you mentioned. I think one of them is actually a character from an ABC show. This other one is from such an old show, I don't know that. Maybe I should just tell you. My first thought was, let's save this for another episode, because honestly, we can connect to this what we've already created here. Another 10 different shows.
Really?
That I'm just leaving off for the sake of time. So either we'll save it,
Like going through that episode. You could. This is the Kevin Bacon of this game. This is
Not
the,
only that
the
episode,
single
but
connective fiber.
you could branch off of the Jeffersons and get a bunch of tons more.
Well, I thought surely when I saw the Jeffersons, I'm like, oh, we're getting different strokes. We're going to see Facts of Life. We're going to see that stuff. There's so much you could do.
Facts of Life, I try to leave off ones that may be a little too obvious, but but you're right. I mean, so
Wow.
All right, we've only got one clue left, and I believe this one we kick off with Kat for the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So.
And Kat, the type of show that we're looking to connect to the A-Team here is a sci-fi show that ran from 78 to 79, and then again in 80. Oh, John's got it already, maybe. No?
Oh.
Maybe not.
Oh.
And it's connected to the A-Team. Now, again, look, you got these dotted lines here, so, that means these things are not as strong as some of the other connections.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, here it is. Clue number one. This show was created by Glenn Larson. Who we mentioned earlier also created Knight Rider. Now, again, he had his hands in so many different shows. I think Glenn Larson might have adapted the Hulk for television.
Oh.
I think that may be true, but it worked on a number of different shows. All right, so there you go. Glenn Larson, sci-fi show, 78, 79, and then 80.
And there I go without an answer.
Okay. All right, John. The next clue is for you.
Okay.
For 10 points.
Sure.
A vague summary of the plot of the show. The show follows the human survivors of a millennium-old war as they flee in search of a new home while being pursued by warrior robots created by a reptilian race.
Battlestar Galactica.
That's right.
Wow.
I realized I was like, I should cut this off at some point, but it's
Like
not,
it keeps going.
It
What?
can't.
And the robots and the
it wouldn't
reptilian
even be
keep coming.
fair. I think if I
When I
stopped
heard the
too
last
soon.
humans were fleeing, I was about to say Battlestar, and there was more
I'm
clues
sure
coming.
you
It was
got
great.
But you just
So this Battlestar Galactica
Nice.
was initially canceled after the first two seasons because it
okay.
it didn't do well. But there was a massive write-in campaign after that, and this is pre-internet. So the executives over at ABC had never seen anything like this. Nobody really had, and it prompted them to reconsider their reasons for canceling the show. And after some deliberation, they contacted Glenn Larson to see what they could do. They decided to bring it back in a less expensive format, which actually placed the show ahead, I think, I want to say 15 years or 30 years, and on planet Earth. So they saved a sci-fi budget. Originally, the folks that starred in the show, Richard Hatch and Lauren Green, Dirk Benedict. Lauren Green's character they just got rid of, but Dirk Benedict and Richard Hatch didn't want to come back, and Dirk Benedict couldn't come back because he had a conflict. But he did. He did come back ultimately in the show that places us in the 1980s because he appears in the last episode of the only season, reprising his role it tells the story of what happened to Starbuck on a deserted planet.
Okay.
How is it connected to the A-Team?
Isn't Dirk Benedict Faith?
He is. But even more than that, on an episode of the A-Team, when they're at Universal Studios, a Cylon warrior walks by Dirk Benedict's Face character.
Oh, no.
And Face pauses and looks at him and says, it seems like he's about to say something to him, and does a double take as if he recognizes him and before moving on.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that little clip's actually used ultimately in future seasons. It appears in the credits, the opening credits of every episode after that, I believe.
Oh, that's great.
All right, that's our game. So let's see. We're going to add another 10 points for John, right? Because you got it on the second clue. And that brings us to a total of 45 points for Kat and 60 points for John. Congratulations.
It was hard fought. Good job, Kat.
Yeah, seriously. Until the end there, it was a neck-and-neck race, 45 to 50. So
I did better than I expected. And
If you knew your Larson your shows, you'd have had this in the bag.
yeah, hey guys, thanks for doing that. Look, it's easier to be the guy who's asking the questions than the one having to answer it. I'm not great at trivia. You know, I just hosted that trivia at the convention last weekend. That was fun.
Yeah.
But if I was in the audience having to compete, I wouldn't do that well.
It wouldn't have been so fun.
No. They would have been like, you host a show about this? And you're in last place?
You poser.
That's my problem. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to embarrass myself
Yeah.
on 80s trivia on Will's show.
Oh, no. Look at that. You showed up and showed out and shown enough.